Hello, friends, and welcome to the first um, creative circle in my new space. I'm hoping the sound is good. We're still getting settled in, so this space is going to be changing, and I appreciate your patience as I get settled in to do all of those good things. But let's get into the topic of October. It's now November, but in October, the theme was begin. And the topic that was chosen was working with the tarot. So begin and death. For those of you who don't know, death in the tarot is I guess the best way to put it, the tarot embodiment of Scorpio. So right now, the sun is in Scorpio, and the energy we can pick up into and kind of tap into is illustrated by the death card. So before we dive in, since this is a recording, please make sure you have a few things. Your art materials that you want to use tonight, a candle and something to light it with, and if you have it, your death card. But of course, I'm going to be sharing some death card images as well. So no worries if you're new to tarot or if it's something that you're not quite confident in yet. This is still a good witchy experience for you, a good creative tool. But the idea here is that we're thinking about begin as it relates to death and tarot. So this is the prompt that I shared that is our inspiration for today. For this prompt, I invite you to take out your tarot card for Scorpio, the death card. Take some time to journal this question before exploring your art materials, and I'm going to open up the space to do so in just a second. What can I learn about beginnings in my endings? I'm going to give us some time to journal that question. But before that, I want to kind of explain a little bit more about what is death in the tarot. Death in the tarot, I think it's very common for people to see it as kind of a really negative thing. If you see the death card in your tarot deck, it might be a little ominous, a little spooky. But what death comes to us and helps illustrate is that we are tapping into something that allows us to be with the cycle rather than the cycle happening to us. There's so much rebirth in the death card. There's so much opportunity for change. And one of the phrases I like to think about with the death card and with Scorpio is this idea of composting aspects of our life, how we can turn maybe things that have gotten sour or stale or no longer nourishing and repurpose them into something that nourishes us even further. Composting old identities of self, old relationships, old belief systems, old thought patterns. This can be a lot of different things that we are composting to create the new soil for ourselves. And with Scorpio, we're kind of invited to really dig into that with reverence for the earth and that soil where the worms lie and squirm as so sacred, because it's so necessary for our nourishment to be fed this old for new life. And so something that I like to think about with the death card, a reflection to share, is that this is all about the life, death, rebirth process. Death is just an aspect of the life, death, rebirth cycle. It is constantly in flux, constantly in change. So that being said, our journaling prompt is, what can I learn about beginnings and my endings? What I want to invite you in to do is to sit with this card and feel where you can begin again in your own life or your own art. So feel into this prompt for a second. Think about that idea of just the journaling. If you already have your card out, that's great. If not, maybe just allow for this prompt to journey you with your journaling, as it were. Take a second to really just think about the connection between your beginnings, you specifically, you who's watching, you who's listening, use all that's out there. And really think about what those beginnings, how can we begin with our endings, right? And before we even get started, I want to invite you to pull out your candle. And just kind of think about this question. What can I learn about my beginnings from my endings? Maybe take a second, just kind of get settled, holding that candle, any candle, close to your heart space. And just ask that question. What can I learn about my beginnings from my endings? Roll out the shoulders if it feels good. Maybe the neck. Meditating on this question, this journaling prompt. And when you feel ready, allow this light to ignite as a little sacred totem, a little sacred tool connecting with this fire, this element. Scorpio is water, and it is the scorpion, yes, but a good representation of Scorpio is also the phoenix. This interpretation, again, is part of the life and death cycle, the rebirth cycle. So we honor that a little bit tonight by lighting a candle as an ode to that energy. Just allow yourself to be with that for a second. If you've already started journaling, great. We love an eager friend. I'm gonna put on some tunes as we journal this question together, and I'll check in a second. All right, friends. Remember that if you are still journaling, pause this video and continue. But if not, let's get into the good stuff. Bring out that candle and your card. If that candle's off to the side, just bring it in front of you. And that card. Bring these tools out, and of course, as always, keep them close, your creative tools. In front of you are 3 interpretations of the Death card. These 3 interpretations might all call to you a little differently. I'm going to hide my face so you can see all 3 clearly. If you have your Death card in front of you, just focus on that one. However, if you do not have a Death card and this is your only access to one, take some time to just kind of sit and study one interpretation. Pick one card that calls to you. That might be the one in the center, maybe to the left or the right. All 3 interpretations, same energy, different visions. So something to think about as we look at our different interpretations of death is that each card is a teacher, and each card shows something unique that perhaps the others don't. Take a second to just kind of feel into which card calls to you today. All of these cards are our teachers in rebirth. Death is just simply one step. But all of these cards call to us. All of these cards are here to show us an aspect of beginning through the ending. Take a deep breath here and release. As you study this death card, maybe it's yours in front of you or one that I'm sharing, I want you to just simply ingrain this image in your mind. Notice all the detail of the image in front of you. Are there people in it? Are there multiple people in it? What colors, shapes, what sights do you see? Study every detail, every line, every color, and allow your eyes to just softly take in everything there. You've already journaled on the topic of what do endings teach me about my beginnings? Or, well, what do my beginnings teach me about endings? Either way, this cycle works in a circle. Invite you to build a bridge, creative bridge as it were, placing one hand on your art materials, maybe next to the candle, and another on your heart. When you feel ready and you have this image burned into your mind of the death card that is your teacher tonight, I invite you to do some open-eyed meditation. I invite you to allow your gaze to soften. If it helps, take off your glasses and stare into your candle. Allowing your eyes to be soft and holding the death image in your mind's eye. Remember, there is no wrong or right in this journey. We are simply doing this together. Take a deep breath in and out. Staring into the flame, I invite you to ask the flame, as if it is your card of death, this card of Scorpio, this ending, beginning, and rebirthing. Ask this energy a question tonight. You may do so out loud or to yourself, keeping your eyes focused on the flame. Deep breath in and slowly let it out through the mouth. Allow this question to be answered by your own heart, by the spirits that support you, the energy that guides you. And when you feel ready, just simply whisper, "Thank you." If you feel called, I invite you to ask another question. Taking a deep breath in and out the mouth. And when you feel ready, whisper a thank you. Take a moment here to just notice any sensations in your body, to just allow yourself to be here with your little flame, your art materials, and your tarot cards. Staring into this flame, I want you to now bring your vision outward. After being so zoomed in, just allow yourself to take in the whole room. Taking another deep inhale into the nose and out through the mouth. Allow yourself to just kind of be for a second, placing the candle again off to the side. Feel free to journal some more before diving into your creative practice. And whenever you feel ready to channel what came up for you, feel free to do so. If it supports you, I invite you to draw the flame itself, or to simply start with that flame shape. What's interesting about flames is their shape is kind of similar to a water drop. So if this shape is supportive, start with that. But know that there are no wrong or right answers. There is just simply your experience. Take your time drawing, painting, coloring, whatever you are using to connect with your creative self tonight. Be easy with yourself as you begin your project. Or if you feel called, begin an old project again with your fresh perspective. I hope you find this supportive. I'm going to leave you here, but remember, please turn on any tunes you want. I'm going to be sharing a November playlist around the time I upload this. So feel free to use that or any songs you enjoy. Follow your heart as you make some art. Feel free to pause these reminders while working to keep them up while you do so. And until next time, I hope you have a beautiful time creating today. Bye.